Did that flash a message that you're almost at the end?
No, it said that it split the shit into different. It split. Shit.
Okay.
You wanna talk shit? You gon' get it. You gonna talk shit?
Hey, I'm Stevie Loveless,
I'm Rick the drummer.
and we're talking shit. So hey, some people know, some people don't. Rick is a nurse. So I thought it'd be cool to ask Rick just kind of how he got into it and why he got into it, and with this current landscape that we're all in, with Rick being a frontline hero. You know, it might be cool to kind of talk to Rick about, you know, nursing and so on and so forth. So Rick, tell me, how did you why did you get into it, and you know, and why? So how and why?
Okay, well, it actually, I started, got out of high school, went straight to college, and I wanted to be an engineer. I was going to be a mechanical engineer and, you know, make shit. And I got about, I don't know, about 2.5 years into it, and the math was just getting really, like, I think it was calculus 3. I'm just like,
You're out.
I'm tapping out, man. I'm going to be a shitty engineer.
It was just too much.
It was uninteresting.
I'm not a math guy by any means. You know, I can figure out quarters and eighths if you catch my meaning. I can do 4/4, that kind of stuff.
So I was at the point where, like, just when I was having lunch with friends, we would figure out, like, the mathematical equation and how long would this need to be before it came to a point, like this cup, because it starts bigger, gets narrower. How far out would it be before it came to a point? Anyways, so that was a former life, and, you know, when I was in the midst of that and really coming to that point of, like, this is really not for me.
Yeah, just too much.
I got sick, and I didn't know what I was sick with, but I lost a ton of weight, and, like...
Oh, so you got physically sick?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and then my joints were just, like, on fire. Now, mind you, I'm going to school in Walla Walla, Washington. So, like, southeast corner of Washington, about 1,000 miles away from San Jose. I come home to visit, and I'd been away for quite a few months, and my family looked at me, and they're like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
I lost 50 pounds. So you're talking about going from, like, you know, 220 down to 170. That's a noticeable drop. And they're like, you know, go check in with the doctor. So I had some blood work done, and the guy calls me back. I mean, like, the evening I got, this was not like an emergency department where you get the results within a couple hours. This was like, I went to my regular doctor at his office.
Oh, so you went through, like, weeks of trying to figure it out because of SCIPA and HIPAA and all the other bullshit, right?
Part of it. But he's like, don't go back to school.
Oh, the doctor told you not to go back to school.
Yeah, he's like, something's wrong with you, and we need to figure this out. So I called up the school and said, hey, I'm pulling out. You know, I got to. And so turned out, long story short, had to go see, I was bleeding. I didn't know where from. They didn't know what was going on, but all my counts were, like, super low.
Holy shit, dude. You were, like internally bleeding?
Yeah.
Fuck me running.
So I get sent over to a gastroenterologist, and the guy diagnoses me with Crohn's disease. So if you guys, oh jeez, it's either Mike McCready or Stone Gossard. I think it's Mike McCready from Pearl Jam has it too. So there was a period when he was having a flare up.
He's got a badass fucking 1959 Les Paul. I'm just saying. Go on.
I hear all the good musicians do. Anyways, so I had that, but the cousin to Crohn's is ankylosing spondylitis. Another famous person with ankylosing spondylitis.
Mars.
Yes. Who, if any of you guys can help me out, I want to meet the guy. I want to talk with him and see, you know, just how the whole music business was on him.
And so they're connected, Crohn's disease and that?
Yeah. So they're connected because they're autoimmune problems. So basically your body, something triggers the immune response and it starts attacking itself.
Yeah.
So inside of my intestines, I had these ulcerations, which is where I was bleeding.
Yeah.
So that stuff got all ironed out. It took a little while, about a year, and then, you know, that got stabilized, figured out the arthritis thing.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of had to deal with what was going on. So in the meantime, though, during that year, I took time off school, and then You know, it's like I was about to lose my insurance benefits unless I went back to school. It's like, okay. And so my mom, she was a nurse. She happened to suggest, hey, why don't you go try this out? So the cool thing...
So your mom was a nurse?
My mom was a nurse. There's like, I had like 17 nurses in my family. Not my immediate family, but cousins, aunts, uncles, things like that. Mm-hmm. And so I go in there, and I start taking like these prerequisites. And I remember taking anatomy and physiology. And it was really cool because we start studying all this stuff that I've already got going wrong with me, right? Bones, joints, intestines, all that.
So you're studying, you know, what your ail was.
Yeah. And it was like making sense. And I had never, I mean, I'm thinking back to my math classes, and I'm like kind of getting by with C's, C pluses, but I'm like getting A's. I'm like, I understand it.
So you're crushing it now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like, I'm coming in there just like.
So that put you down the path to.
I enjoyed it. It clicked with me.
So ultimately, you had some issues that you needed to get sorted out. Ended up going to school, and then you started learning about your own issues.
Yeah.
And that interested you, right?
Yep.
And so that pushed you on to doing what you do now.
That's exactly it. And then because I've had to spend time in a gown, and you know other people touching my parts and pieces. Mm-hmm. Kind of helps you understand what that's like when you're the one who's like examining patients and taking care of people. It's like that's a sensitive issue, and you've got a very brief moment of time to capture their trust and don't violate that trust. You know.
So you've been you've been in the position in that position, so you know then like how you want to be with your patients,
yeah,
right?
Exactly,
based on your own experiences.
Yeah.
Because I've heard you say before that it's an honor for you to serve and be a nurse, and I've always thought that, man, that's really great. It's really really noble.
But that wasn't a piece that I immediately came to. That was more like I understood the connection I had with people that were in the hospital. And I started off with pediatrics, so it's kids, right?
Yeah.
So getting to immediately be trusted by an entire family to take care of this little kid.
Yeah.
That if you don't do right by them, they could either get sicker or die, or they're going to get better.
Yeah.
And that's really amazing to be a part of. And then they start to show gratitude, and it's how you accept that gratitude, and then you're going to hear... I mean, like, I'm still to this day uncomfortable with, like, you're a hero and stuff. It's... Okay, that's great, but I have a greater amount of pleasure seeing somebody overcome their illness or their adversity. Even if it's a dude that comes into the ER and he's just drunk and thinks his life is completely devalued. Fuck that, dude. Do you have kids? Is one of my first questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3 kids. Okay, do you realize that you are important to them? So choose today to be your first day to stop, like, drinking.
So you end up being like a counselor on top of everything else.
I think, yeah.
Like the 5-minute counselor, like you get a certain amount of time with these people, and you
totally
come in, and so you have, this 5-minute counsel session of being able to like the drunk guy, do you have kids? I think that's great. I think it speaks to your character, and I think the world needs more of it, because honestly, I mean, I've been around nurses that just don't give a fuck, and you come in and you got something wrong with you, and they're annoyed that they're there, and they're just dicks.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to compartmentalize that, because every one of us is having a bad day, but me, I am going to do my job, and I am seeing it. Nobody that I take care of is actually having a really great day.
Well, no, because they're there, right?
Right. So why should I make that worse?
Right.
Right. I can't be throwing an attitude at them because maybe I'm upset with... I don't know, my kid forgot a school project or some shit.
You had a bad rehearsal, or you're arguing with a bandmate.
I can't drag that. You have to learn to compartmentalize, and you have to know, is what I'm doing helping this person or not. But no, I've always been fortunate to work in my community. There's some people that they live a few hours away, but there's something always been about it. Like I'll see. Like when I worked over another local hospital. I actually got recognized at the fair, by like this one family. I didn't remember them. They told me a couple things, and it jogged my memory, and it was like cool to see their kid actually out of the ICU.
You get to touch.
Awesome.
You get to touch people's lives in a way that most people don't get to do.
So here's what the way I look at it. I want to change their trajectory, because when they come to see me, they're trying to die, or they're just like in an ailment, but I'd like to change their trajectory to go in a different direction from that day, and do better. Whether it's the dude who's just drunk and thinks he's worthless, can I change that trajectory in some little way? Yeah, I'll try. But it's always been, I've always enjoyed working in my community and serving the community.
Good for you, man. I think it's very noble. I think it's not for everybody. I don't know if I could do it. I like helping people. I think what nurses do and doctors and these frontline folks is amazing. It's just I don't think I could do it. So good on you, dude.
Thank you.
Today on a very special episode of Talk Shit,
Rick,
the drummer, the nurse. So with that, it's 2021. We've had this pandemic and this. I don't want to get too crazy with this, but is it as crazy as they say it is? Like just like we've been locked down because of ICU and all this shit. You don't need to expand, but just tell me, is it bullshit or is it not bullshit?
It's real, and the reason I say it's real is because of what I see. Now, you could come at me with all kinds of different statistics, and we could take the focus off of what is actually happening by getting side railed onto all these other conversations and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you look at people being the point of it all, what are we even arguing about? Because something happened for us to be having this argument, which is just, all it's doing is taking the the attention off of the problem, which is people are sick and dying.
Yeah.
And again, yes, there's all kinds of different arguments, and there's a lot of rabbit holes you can chase. However,
people are getting sick with COVID, and people are dying from COVID.
Yeah. So I mean, it's as simple as that. And I'm not a rocket surgeon, so.
Would be a rocket scientist, rocket surgeon. Is it a rocket? It's rocket scientist, right? Hey, leave a comment below and tell us if it's rocket science, rocket scientist, rocket surgeon, whatever.
Well, there's a guy that works on the rockets. That's the surgeon, isn't it?
I don't know. It would be the scientist.
You're talking about a guy who failed out of engineering school.
I don't know. Okay, so the takeaway from this is Rick is an angel on Earth, and he is my hero, and he serves his community in such a way that we all could take a lesson from. Also, COVID-19 is real. It's a gnarly disease. We all now, it's now 2021. We all have known somebody with it, somebody who has died from it, or a friend who has lost someone from it. Make sure you are doing your very best to keep yourself healthy. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Rick has been vaccinated. So
I'm doing okay with it. I've had no effects or no bad side effects. I think I put out there on like a little video vlog.
Yeah, you did. You tried to be very clear and open about what was going on with it, and
just a little bit of a headache, and I did okay. I did fine.
So there you go. And that was the Pfizer one, right?
I had the Pfizer one. I've heard some people with the other one, Moderna. They've had some more of a reaction, but they're saying statistically, reactions are going to happen with vaccinations. All right. So, but some to be aware of. That's all. Just be aware of it. But I think one of the lessons I've learned from Stevie here is within the music industry, you have to find places where you can learn stuff. And one of the things that I've gotten from you is don't be a dick. Don't set out to be a dick. And that means don't shame somebody if they want to wear a mask or if they seem maybe a little bit more hyper vigilant. Dude, that's your fucking opinion. Let them wear the mask. Let them wear the, do the gloves, wash and hand sanitize. Hey, ask them if they've gotten sick or if their family's gotten sick.
That's right.
Show some love to the people around you. Don't look for those places where, we get all judgy. And, I've been guilty of it too early on. I'll say this, man. I was like, what the fuck, why are you wearing gloves at the grocery store? You know what?
Yeah, I when it all went down, I thought, whatever makes people feel comfortable and what makes people feel safe is good for them. I wear a mask. I sanitize when I'm on a job site or I'm around things that I'm not normally around. I don't want to bring it home to my family. I don't want to get my bandmates sick. I don't want to get my family sick. I don't want to get any of you guys sick. As I said, Rick's been vaccinated, so I'm very comfortable sitting next to Rick. Rick works in the ER around this shit all day long. But I'm very comfortable being next to him, again, because he's been vaccinated. So, I wanted to do this little vlog / podcast thing and just kind of talk about it real quick because, you're in the know. And, maybe some guys out here in the music community that we're a part of, aren't in the know, or maybe don't know somebody who works in the hospital or the ER. So
always willing to help. Always willing to answer questions, share my experiences, anything like that. Even if it's not about COVID. If it's, hey man, I know somebody else has, arthritis or some shit like that. And there's this drummers community, man. I just became a part of on Facebook, and this one guy was saying he's got, arthritis, and was like, hey, I do too. How do you get by? How do you set your drums? How do you do this or that? We just talk, man. And that's the best part about what I do, is that it's a talking thing, man. It's communication. It's relation. How do you relate to people around you?
Well, and it's community, right?
Yep.
You're just giving your knowledge, same as I would give my knowledge of hey man, how do you do this thing, with lighting, or how do you do this thing with editing, or how do you do this thing on the bass or the guitar?
And don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. I'm Steve.
I'm Rick the drummer.
It's been a very special episode of
Talk Shit.
See you soon.
You wanna talk shit? You'll get it.